everyone, Darren Hunter here. I'm with Michael Sands. This is the UNBUSY podcast show. And Michael, again, congratulations. We're just about to release the UNBUSY Your Property Manager's book. What a labor of love. Congratulations on your very first book.
Thank you.
So everyone, the book is all about how you can unshackle yourself, unbusy your team, because there are repetitious, mundane tasks they're doing over and over and over and over again that's keeping them away from emails and phone calls and providing world-class service to your clients and keeping them away from focusing on the task and grow your rent roll. And those tasks, those mundane, repetitious, hamster wheel tasks, if you want to call them, that just keep your team locked down, can be successfully given to other team members that can probably do them a lot more faster than what you can, a lot more efficient than what you can, and they don't have to be done by someone in your office. They can be done by someone down the street in another country, all right, as long as they have an internet connection, which means you're saving a lot on desk costs. And if it's to people in the Philippines, then of course it's not going to be costing you the same as having someone in your office. So today, Michael, let's just talk about email management. Now, out of all of the real estate business owners you're dealing with, you've told me that this is probably one of the biggest tasks that most offices will be outsourcing right away.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the most important tasks to look at, Darren, especially when you're trying to unbusy property managers and staff from distractions, and you're trying to get your property managers to focus on the high income, increased revenue fees, customer service type jobs. Email in an office is neglected by a lot of agencies because they think that the property managers and the admin staff should do that as part of their job. But as we all know, if you've got a property manager or admin and they get an email, they stop doing what they're doing, they look at that task, and then it takes them at least 20 minutes to get mentally back into the other task. And as a business, you're not being profitable.
No, and it is a real bane. I know that we've got a real property manager shortage out there. There are a lot of them burn out. They can't keep up with the workload, pushes a lot of them out of the industry. And email management is one of the biggest pain points. You ask any property manager and talk about, out of the pain rating from 1 to 10, managing your emails, most will say it's a pain rating of 9 or 10. It's a real pain point, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing that people don't understand is if you're working your email from the inbox, you're doing it wrong. You should be working your email from the draft box, not the inbox. Right? Like if you're doing high income tasks and you're getting slammed with emails, a VA should be able to manage your emails.
But let's talk about this, because right now, certainly people that are listening to this podcast show are thinking, well, I wouldn't be able to trust anyone else to manage my emails and sort those out. I've got to do those myself, let alone someone in another country. So like, Michael, let's start breaking this down. Let's start, how is this possible? How can a virtual assistant from the Philippines actually make sense in our inbox without, disrupting our client relations? How is that possible?
I guess, we throw around that 80-20 principle, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that a VA could do that we don't give them enough credit for. But, all that said, I totally understand. There are certain levels of communication that surely the property manager or someone higher up are really the only ones equipped to handle, right? That's fine. But a lot of offices don't actually work out what are the types of communication that's coming into the office, right? Like what percentage is tenant inquiry, trade inquiry, owner inquiry? And what we broke down and what we notice across offices all across the globe, it's mainly tenant communication and tradie communication that bogs everyone down. Now, we set up on our inbox, you've got your normal inbox, and then there's a Michael inbox, and then there's an actioned inbox, right? And the Michael inbox was really the things that they thought only I could do. There's the action inbox, which are things like, the junk mail, the spam mail, the low-hanging fruit that can be easily replied to, attached to document to, responded to fast. All I would be doing is going into my inbox, which had draft emails in there, which was the VA having a crack at my response. Now, one thing, people get worried that they don't know how I write my emails. That, they haven't got my voice. And you're right. Like, I write emails very short, and I would prefer not to say, "Hi, Darren." I would prefer just to say, "Received, got this, here you go." But Dennis will write an essay in his email to get the same point across. And you're very matter of fact in your email too, because you're straight to the point. There's no confusion over your message in your email. So we have different styles between the three of us. Having someone learn and understand that will take a little bit of time so they know what your writing style is. But also at the same time, I'm not asking them to change my writing style to their writing style, or, sorry, I'm not trying to get them to match mine. If they're going to send an email on my behalf, I'm happy for them to do that from their email, from them as my EA, as my admin, or whatever the role is, but they're actioning it. The recipient doesn't care. They're getting their resolution. Now what you can do is, Darren, what we do with our clients, I get a series of our clients' emails. I put it through AI, and I create a prompt, a formula on the exact tone and style and methodology of how our clients write their emails. And then I create a prompt. And so our VAs know the formula, how to respond according to the client that they're working with.
Okay, well that's amazing that that AI is able to do that. So I guess thinking real estate business owners right now are thinking far out, okay, with AI and stuff, but what about the accuracy of what's being said? And a person in another country of a different culture, how is that going to replace me? I'm just thinking there's going to be a level of inaccuracy there and wrong things said, and it's going to be a real problem.
Yeah, I don't really see that as being any type of problem, because I would say that anybody in the office that has come into a role within another real estate agency has the same level of error making, right? Because, Darren, if I was to jump on your emails and go through your emails and respond to your emails, I guarantee you're probably going to look at that and go, "Oh no, Michael, why would you say that? Why would you do this? Why would you do that?" But the resolution point, generally the recipient is satisfied because they've got a resolution. But anything that I'm not sure on, or my VA isn't sure on, Darren, it sits in my inbox as a draft. So there is no reason that every email that goes out should not be accurate and complete. Now, another thing that teams by design are doing, Darren, with emails is actually creating AI for the VAs, which we then train in the back end on your email how to respond to certain things. So if it's legislation based, if it's new business based, if it's maintenance based, if it's arrears based, whatever the topic. So we're able to create a reply based on how you write your emails. And the VA has the highest level of accuracy when putting together an email. So the VAs and the EAs through Teams by Design have a much higher accuracy, resource, and output than I'd say any other VA on the market.
So let's just rehash this a bit, because I'm certainly getting it. But we can have the virtual assistant that takes out the dross, okay, all the dross that drops in that you do not obviously need to use your precious, expensive time to be sorting through junk, to be sorting through newsletters that you don't need. You can easily delegate that to somebody else with a little bit of basic training. And then there's possible emails that need communication. But what you're saying here is that together with some training, all right, but also using artificial intelligence, which, Michael, that's awesome. But I think people need to speak to you directly more on that to find out how that works. But it's also, if any virtual assistants who you've spent time with and trained and got some trust going do answer any emails, it simply sits in drafts, doesn't it?
Correct.
So you just go in, your emails aren't being sent on your behalf. They are being replied to, but sitting in drafts for you to look over first, for you to approve before they go out. And I know for myself, there's a difference when actually doing the email in time, and there's a difference in simply reading it and checking it. All right. And I work by this, what's a rule called 80% rule, where I can actually delegate difficult, complex tasks knowing that I'm going to get if I work really hard on description and with my Loom videos and all of that stuff, that if I get the job back at least 80% right first time, we're doing great.
Yeah.
Because then all I have to do is send a second or third piece of communication to then fine tune that last 10 or 20%, and we're done. But it saved me a bucket amount of time to actually do that 80%.
Yeah, it also means that I'm no longer a slave to my email. Like you don't, as a property manager who sits generally with two screens, and one of those screens has like their property CRM and their inbox. Every time an inbox comes in, an email comes in, they stop what they're doing, they look at it, and they work out, oh, okay, should I be doing this now? But no, I would say that really you just need to do your emails at maybe 11 o'clock in the morning and maybe like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's where your focus is. But if you're, Darren, if you're spending your time in your email as a property manager and you are not being customer service focused, then you are, I think you're hiding behind the role. So business owners need to unshackle their property managers, unbusy them from absolutely all these minuscule time wasting tasks that pop up. And for me, a VA was the obvious choice to help with my emails.
And look, I've been using, Beverly for years and years and years on my inbox, and she manages that really well. And I only have to
She's
really worry about
fantastic.
start. I mean, she's so well trained, Michael. She manages most of my responses and hardly asks me any questions. She's so good. But I think everyone also, you need to understand, certainly with Teams by Design, Michael, you only approve 2% of applicants. So you're already screening people very heavily on their skill set before we make them available to officers to be actually working in your inbox. So there's a high level of skill these people already have before they're unleashed on your workload. So it's not like we're throwing anyone at you.
No, I mean, like we had a client recently, Darren, and they had 3 or 4 different inboxes, and there's a smaller operation, and they had hundreds of emails coming through from tenants and promotional stuff, and it was stopping them from doing growth because they had severe anxiety over looking at the inbox. It was one of the things that was holding them back. And when we would ask him, "Oh, have you done videos, strategic alliance calls?" They hadn't done that because they had just the anxiety and the fear of their inbox and the gravity of them having to check that and seeing what was missing.
Yeah.
We placed with them a VA, more around an EA, and she said, so her task was to get in there and just review the emails. Now, Darren, this person that we recruited, they had no real estate experience at the time. They had done our 4-week training. Now, I heard something crazy the other day that a lot of other outsourcing agencies only give their VAs 2 weeks training. Our
Wow.
team have 4 weeks training minimum. And so that kind of blew my mind. But anyway, she had no real practical real estate sense, but she had administrative sense and a good brain for good understanding of how to sort things. Anyway, we put her in with this client. Within 6 days, the whole inbox was cleaned up. They thought it would have taken weeks, right? It was cleaned up. And, it was funny. I mean, I pull up my phone and we actually got a group. I don't think you're part of the group chat with these particular clients, Darren, but they had said, because they would have a business opportunity, and they said that there's another business that they can potentially look at buying. They don't have much info on it yet, but now we're not so snowed under. Thank you, Michael, and the name of the VA. I won't name it. But because we helped them clean up their email, they're now in a position to even take on another 100 managements.
Yeah, well, that's amazing, because I know that email management is cumbersome, but also it does create a level of anxiety and fear amongst people because they're so busy. They've got urgent emails they know going bing, 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 dropping into their inbox. And it's just it's like a brick on their back and then another brick on their back, and it really weighs them down. So it actually contributes to the level of the erosion of their heart, mind, and soul in your business, that you really got to listen to them and unshackle. If you've got 3 or 4 property managers, can you imagine what one virtual assistant just cleaning up their inbox would do, plus some other tasks as well, across the 4 property managers? You can imagine how much you could really unshackle them and extend their lifespan and career lifespan with your agency, all right? And reducing the amount of time before they come to you and say, look, I've had enough. I want to leave. And that's what you don't want. So everyone, I just want to say that's task number 2 out of our UNBUSY book, managing your emails. We've actually got 30 tasks altogether in the UNBUSY, your property manager's book. Michael implemented these 30 tasks into the agency that he grew up to 650 properties with his agency in Melbourne. And he only had 1 full-time property manager and 1 part-time property manager. The rest were virtual assistants. So I invite you to have a chat with Michael. Michael, what's the easiest way for people to get in contact?
Unbusychat.com, booked straight into my diary.
Yeah, and have a chat to Michael about how your inbox can be easily managed, but also talk to Michael about AI as well. That's something really exciting and how that works. Throw any curly questions at Michael, any concerns that you have, and he'll be able to help you with that. And I just want to also encourage you, get the book, all right? Just go to unbusyyourpropertymanagers.com. That's unbusyyourpropertymanagers.com. Now, the book is free. All right. All you've got to do is pay for shipping. So go and reserve your copy. Have a look at the 30 tasks there. Also know that when you order your hard copy, you'll immediately get the ebook and the audio book version as well. So you can start learning right away, waiting for your hard copy to come. So Michael, great podcast there. Everyone, you don't have to be shackled to that email inbox. Oh my goodness me, what a problem for people in property management now solved. So, all right, Michael, I think we're done.
Great. Thanks, Darren.
All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.